Good day, my name is Sky, and I appreciate you spending some study time with me. I'm here to help you make money in online poker by teaching you key strategies and getting you to take action. We are getting right into this one today. No time to dilly-dally. You're about to take some action. Gambate.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh. Okay. You got time to duck?
So we're kicking this off with my challenge to you. Here it is. Teach yourself how to overbet bluff on the flop. Now, Henry Ford once said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. So if you believe that you can teach yourself to make a new play, even one that you've maybe never even thought of in the past, you can do it. Remember, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are right. So I'm telling you right now that you can teach yourself to make a play. You are a poker player, you're a poker studier, you listen to this podcast, I bet you read books, you watch YouTube videos, you are a poker exploiter as well. You have learned how to make a ton of exploitative plays based on what you've learned in these various videos, podcasts, books, and whatnot. Now, you're going to do this exact same thing. Someone's going to teach you a strategy and you're going to learn to use it, but you are going to be the one teaching yourself this time. So this is part one of a two-part podcast series this week. Now, this first part is just audio and I guess visual as well with the text on the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/pod505. But part two is going to be a video-based podcast because I am going to teach you this strategy of overbet bluffing on the flop, and I'm going to have some hand examples to show you in video form, obviously. But I don't want you to wait until the strategy video comes out later this week. I want you to teach yourself over the next 3 days how to overbet bluff on the flop. Now, let me put you in the situation to help you come up with your own strategy. You're a poker coach. One of your students comes to you and he simply asks, how do I overbet bluff the flop? Of course, if you don't know how to do it, you're not going to make up some lies and tell your student some false information, right? You're going to admit that you don't know, but hey, let me figure that out and get back to you. But let's imagine you do know the answer to that question. You do know how to overbet bluff on the flop, and you want to teach your student. So you're going to create this strategy right meow. The easiest way to start this process is to visualize yourself in a common situation. So oftentimes, you're going to find yourself as the pre-flop raiser, maybe in late position, the small blind folded, and the big blind called. It's just heads up to the flop. The pot is 6.5 big blinds, and you didn't hit a top pair on the flop, so if you want to win, you're probably going to have to bluff. Your opponent checks to you, so you decide this is a great time to overbet bluff. I'm going to bet 8 big blinds into the 6.5 big blind pot, and he ends up folding. Awesome. You took it down. Way to go. Successful overbet bluff. But now I have a question for you. What made this a good overbet bluff? Remember, you're visualizing, you're in this situation, you made the overbet. Well, what did you notice about this situation that helped your overbet bluff succeed? What was it about your opponent that maybe led you to believe that this would be a good bet? Why did you go over pot as opposed to just half pot? What was it about the flop cards that led you to believe that this was a good bet? And what was it about your relative position to the opponent that led you to believe this would be a good bluff bet to make? So I want you to pause the podcast right now, go back and re-listen to those questions, re-listen to that situation, visualize yourself in it, and that's going to help you develop some strategies. Pause the podcast, whip out a piece of paper, and write down 3 to 5 bullet points of strategy that your student can use to find and pull the trigger on solid overbet bluffing opportunities. So seriously, do it right now. Action's the greatest teacher. Pause the podcast and make your list. Now that you've made your list of strategy points, this is your focus over the next 3 days as you play to learn and refine this strategy. So your goal on day 1 today is to make 3 successful flop overbet bluffs. Whatever number you hit today, your goal tomorrow on day 2 will be 1 more. So if you make 4 successful overbet bluffs today, tomorrow day 2, you're going for 5. Your goal on day 3 will be 2 more than the number you hit on day 2. So if you hit 4 today and then 6 tomorrow, your goal on day 3 will be 8 successful overbet bluffs. This episode's coming out Labor Day 2024, and right now, my Labor Day lifetime sale at thepokerforge.com is going on. I guarantee this is the lowest price that lifetime access to thepokerforge.com will ever be. It only goes up from here. So for less than 2 years of membership to the Poker Forge, which is the #1 micro-stakes online cash games training site, you're going to have lifetime access to everything the Poker Forge has to offer. 9 masterclass courses that's going to turn you into a profitable player. And if you're already profitable, it's going to make you more so. You'll have access to any and all future courses I create for thepokerforge.com. And the course updates, as well as different strategy videos that I put out on a regular basis, you've got it all. Plus the monthly group coaching Q&As, and the member-only tournaments on America's Card Room that we play together. You can pit your skills against mine in some tournament poker every single month. So to take advantage of this deal, and I stress that it will never be cheaper than it is right now, go to thepokerforge.com for the Labor Day lifetime sale. Okay, so let's get back to overbet bluffing on the flop. As you're playing and you're striving for overbet bluffs, you must have your piece of paper with your bullet points out in front of you. This is going to help you refer to your strategies as you're playing and help you find those spots where you think that overbet bluffing is good. But as you're playing, you're going to be attempting these overbet bluffs. Some will be successful, some won't be. But you're going to be gaining experience by all this work that you're doing. With this experience, you're going to be learning what works and what doesn't work. And then some cool realizations, they're going to come to you as you make successful and unsuccessful overbet bluffs. I want you to write these realizations on your piece of paper. And then at the end of your session, whip out a fresh piece of paper. Now, with your original bullet points and the new things that you learned with experience, it's all written down on one sheet. You're going to transfer it all to a new sheet of paper. You're going to refine your bullet point strategies and rewrite your list for day 2 tomorrow. Then on day 2 tomorrow, you're going to do the same thing. Use this fresh piece of paper with these new bullet points to refer to as you play. And then you're going to be trying to make overbet bluffs on the flop. You're going to be gaining experience. Some will be successful. Some won't be successful. But new realizations will come to you once again. Write them all down. Then at the end of the session, you're going to whip out a fresh piece of paper, refine your strategies once again, rewrite them all for use on day 3. So now the ball is in your court. I want you to teach yourself to overbet bluff on the flop. And then part 2, when that comes out later this week, you can compare your strategies with mine and then potentially refine your strategies even more with the strategies I give you. And if you cover any important tips, if you learn anything new that aren't covered in my strategies, please send me an email. Let me know so I can refine my own plays. Thank you so much for listening, but more important than that, I want you to take action. So if you do take action and you play the next 3 days to teach yourself overbet bluffing on the flop, you're taking a huge step in your poker journey to turn yourself into the player that you want to be. Gambate!